What's going on, guys? My name is Tommy. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another episode of your Pathfinder 2nd Edition preview spoilers. We've heard about the Alchemist in recent videos, and hey, if you want to learn more about the Alchemist, or maybe you missed it, follow this card right up here. Today's blog talks more about the secrets of alchemy. We're talking bombs, we're talking elixirs, we're talking tools, poisons, all that fun stuff that we're going to use to blow up our enemies, or all that fun stuff that we're going to fail the attack roll by 10 or more, fumble, and blow our own faces off with. Before we get down to that, though, this episode of your Pathfinder 2nd Edition preview content was brought to you in part by our newest patron number 21, Mr. John Diffley. John, thank you so much for your time and support. The link to our Discord is in your Patreon inbox. Now let's dive in. Alright, so in Pathfinder 1st Edition, as I am sure most of us know, alchemists were arcane casters. The class created higher level alchemical items and effects and stuff, but to do that, they used arcane magic. In Pathfinder 2nd Edition, alchemy is being rebuilt from the ground up. Quoting Paizo, "For the upcoming version of the game, we've pulled magic and alchemy apart. Alchemy might feature dramatic effects, but these are powered by the reactions of powerful chemicals, and sometimes catalyzed by resonance, creating a type of fantastic mad science. Where magical power comes from the energies of a spellcasting tradition, alchemical power comes from the fusion of latent potential trapped within the matter, released as energy through a reaction with a different potent material. For example, we can strike a sunrod on a harsh surface, its alchemical reagents combine, and boom, just like in Pathfinder 1st Edition, we have light. In Pathfinder 2nd Edition, any character with the alchemical crafting skill feat, yeah, that's right, all of us, can create alchemical items as long as they have the proper formula, along with the time and reagents. Now, of course, we're all asking ourselves, well, why don't I just play a fighter and make mutagens and buff out? Alchemists know shortcuts to the process and can create unstable alchemical items by using an alchemist kit and paying resonance. Like we talked about in the Alchemist blog, these guys can spit out alchemical items on the fly. Enough waiting, let's get down to the meat and potatoes, shall we? First thing we're talking about today is bombs. We're all familiar with things like alchemist fire, bottled lightning, liquid ice. These things have been mainstays in campaigns forever and ever, especially at low levels. To quote Paizo, in the Pathfinder playtest, these items are the baselines for alchemical bombs. While the base bomb deals a relatively low amount of damage, the Advanced Alchemy class feature allows the alchemist to infuse them with extra power according to his level. While these powerful bombs are unstable, meaning they'll lose potency in either 24 hours or a round, depending on how they were crafted, during that time they can pack a punch, and for example, we see bottled lightning. It costs 3 gold, it's held in 2 hands, its bulk is L for light, meaning 10 of those make bulk 1, assuming we're using verbatim Starfinder. And we see this item's level is 1. We see that items will have levels, which I'm assuming means an alchemist or someone with the alchemical crafting skill feat can make those at level 1. Much like 1st Edition, Bottled Lightning deals 1d6 electricity damage and 1 electricity splash damage, but it also causes the target to become flat-footed to all creatures until the start of your next turn, which is super nice. The rogue will thank you, the fighter essentially gets a +2 to hit, he's also going to thank you, everyone's happy, except the guy we've electrocuted. In Pathfinder 2nd Edition, if a level 11 alchemist makes one of these bombs using Advanced Alchemy, the electricity damage increases to 4d6, though of course the splash stays at 1, unless that alchemist takes Calculated Bomber, which would increase the splash damage to his intelligence modifier, and the flat-footed effect would also stack with anything extra the alchemist wants to put into that bomb from his class feats. And let's not forget the alchemist has damage multipliers on his bombs in 2nd Edition. Like we said before, the alchemist is picking up a teeny tiny little uber charger, perhaps a little tiny fey creature riding an ant or something, jamming it in the bottle, jamming its lance in the bottle, and then throwing it at the bad guys for what's probably going to be a whole lot of damage. We're seeing 2 other important magical items, alchemical items, Thunderstones, which deal sonic damage, greater sonic damage in the hands of a high-level alchemist even, and Tanglefoot bags, everyone's favorite entanglement option, also appear on the bomb list. Second up today, we're talking about elixirs. Quote, in Pathfinder 1st Edition, we have potions, elixirs, and extracts, all taking up much of the same mechanical design space. In the playtest, these divisions are less ambiguous. Potions are potent liquids made by way of magical crafting and have magical, often arcane, effects. Elixirs are alchemical concoctions producing effects that are often very dramatic but are non-magical. Potions are often quicker to use and usually pack some extra oomph. But elixirs work even in places where magic is dulled or suppressed, so inside an anti-magic field, and the alchemist can craft them in a hurry. Both of these kinds of items are used by consuming them, and they often require a bit of resonance to kick them off. The elixir's spectrum of effects tend to deal with changing the body or state of mind. The example elixir presented to us in the blog is called Bravo's Brew at item level 3, which again hopefully means that you need to be a 3rd level alchemist or be level 3 with alchemical crafting to produce this thing, and not you have to be level 3 to use it. It costs 7 gold, it's held in one hand, its bulk is still L for light, its activation is operate activation, which you assume means pop the top and drink the thing. For 1 hour after drinking Bravo's Brew, you gain a +1 item bonus to will saves and a +3 item bonus to will saves against fear. In this section of the blog, we also get to see, for the first time, mutagens. The example used is the Lesser Bestial Mutagen, which grants you a +2 item bonus to athletics checks and unarmed attack rolls, increasing the amount of damage dice you roll for such attacks. Wow. But your new form is clumsy and lumbering, which imparts a -1 on your acrobatics, stealth, and thievery checks, as well as your AC and reflex saves. So it kind of feels like a little bit more of a barbarian rage, which may very well mean the barbarian doesn't necessarily want to get his hands on a mutagen quite as badly as you want to get your hands on them in Pathfinder 1st edition. Also, it's straight up a bigger buff than it is a drawback. A +2 to your athletics at the cost of a -1 to your stealth. You're probably not using your stealth when your fists are stronger and you're throwing an extra damage dice out there. Yeah, sign me up. Paging Dr. Jekyll, we need to talk to Mr. Hyde. Super stoked for alchemists. Another drawback on the elixirs is that they must be attuned, they said it, to a specific creature. This typically involves some bit of that creature's body, think nail trimming, saliva, hair, which is used as a reagent during the crafting process. Moreover, you can only have one mutagen benefit active at a time, though you can suffer from as many drawbacks as you'd like to. Which means the alchemist kind of plays the healer buffer role a little more in 2nd edition, in and of the fact that people are going to be incentivizing the alchemist to make them mutagens using his alchemical pool after every rest, which is still quite strong, and really alchemists in 2nd edition are starting to feel as versatile as they were in 1st, in such a way that if you wanted to play a party of 4 or 5 alchemists, all 4 or 5 players could show up at that table and have entirely different characters, which I love. Paizo also says that in the future they might bring back extracts. Of course they're going to work differently, but they'll revive the term, because, you know, who doesn't like reviving old terms? Anyway, 3rd thing in the blog is poisons. Quoting Paizo, while there are many poisons in nature, alchemical poisons tend to be more refined versions of those natural poisons, often distilled or concentrated, created for both potency and ease of use. And the blog is going to show us the poison favored by the drow, sleep poison. Its item level is 2, it sets you back 5 gold. Its activation is 3 operate activations with no resonance point cost. It is worth noting that the Bravo's Brew doesn't say anything about resonance, and since we're clearly seeing the sleep poison costs no resonance, that probably means that Bravo's Brew and maybe even Bottled Lightning will consume a point of resonance. The saving throw for sleep poison is a Fortitude DC 13. Maximum duration is 4 hours. And now we see that poisons will have different stages. Stage 1 of sleep poison, you're slowed for a round, gaining the slowed 1 condition. Stage 2, you are asleep with no perception check to wake up for 1 round. Stage 3, you're asleep with no perception check to wake up for 1d4 hours. Okay, so that's a lot of new information. Quoting Paizo, let's say you found or made a vial of sleep poison. It takes 3 operate activation actions to apply it to a weapon, which must be one that deals either piercing or slashing damage. If the next attack made by the weapon is a hit or critical hit, the target must attempt a save against the poison, gaining the effects of stage 1 on a failure or stage 2 on a critical failure, with later saves determining how the poison either intensifies or is shaken off, not unlike the dying condition. Since the maximum duration of the poison is 4 hours, no matter what happens, the poison will be completely completely gone from the target's system 4 hours later. But that might mean that you're asleep for like a couple rounds, maybe 30 minutes, you wake up, you're slowed for a while, then you pass back out again, then you wake up. It's a whole huge thing. Paizo wasn't kidding when they said poisons were going to be a lot more deadly. It's not just cure 2 saves, no, it's work your way back from stage 2 or 3 all the way up. Like all alchemical items, an alchemist can create a less stable version of a poison using his advanced alchemy, as long as he possesses the formula for that poison and has the resonance to spare. Bad news on that though, sleep poison is a closely guarded secret of the drow, so good luck getting the formula until, you know, we get information on the drow and we all roll up drow alchemists because, hey, why not? Final category we're talking about today is tools. These are items that don't fit in any other categories. Typically, they affect the terrain, vision, or other aspects of the environment instead of affecting a creature directly. The sun rod that we talked about earlier is one example, and another one, another classic one, that the blog shows off for us is the smoke stick. It is item level 1, costs you 2 gold, bulk again, is light, it's held in 2 hands, 1 operate activation to activate it, with no resonance point cost. The smoke stick creates a screen of thick, opaque smoke in a 5-foot radius burst centered on one corner of your space. All creatures within that area are concealed. The smoke lasts for 1 minute or until dispersed by a strong wind, which is pretty much how smoke sticks worked before. And I will say it's nice to see that not everything out there is going to cost resonance. For the players that are a little worried about burning it all up, especially at low levels, alchemy, at least in the terms of not elixirs, might be the answer, and I'm digging it. But what do you guys think about alchemy so far? Are you liking it? Are you gonna miss being an arcane caster? More importantly, are you still stoked out there for Pathfinder 2nd Edition? I know I am. On the subject of that, our Doomsday Dawn giveaway is now officially funded. Assuming my patrons don't all decide they hate me between here and the 2nd of July, I'm going to need 6 subscribers to run through the Doomsday Dawn adventure, the first ever adventure for Pathfinder 2nd Edition, and the first adventure where zombie mummies from space are going to try to kill you. What more do you want, right? If you'd be interested in that giveaway, follow this card right up here. And if you're still into 1st edition out there, like I know I am, I'm sitting here brewing up a Gestalt Paladin synthesis for a new game that will be recorded tonight, will probably drop Sunday night. We're holding a tournament to send off Pathfinder 1st edition in style. 16 subscribers will be needed to compete in a little blood sport, throw some troxes at each other, hide in the deeper darkness of a drow noble. If you'd be interested in that, follow this card right up here. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe for more videos. The next episode of your Pathfinder 2nd Edition preview content drops next Tuesday.